So guys, I'm back here in Queensland, Australia at Joe Ball's place to do a follow-up video on the video that I shot the last time I was here in Australia, because here at Joe Ball's facility, there is always something new and exciting going on with his blue-tongue skink breeding projects. And when I was last here 3 years ago, Joe was working already with some cutting-edge blue-tongue skink morphs. Well, wait until you guys see what he has now. I'm Dave Kaufman, and these are my reptile adventures. All right, so we are heading in. Oh, look at this. I think all of these enclosures are new from the last time I was here. And look at this.
Yeah, that's a white-sided easterly blue-tongue skink. Okay, so what we have here is the latest and greatest of the bluey morphs. Super desirable. Everybody wants them. In Australia, we've never had anything in the reptile game that has been, replicated that has the resemblance of pied. You know, this is
right.
I mean, yes, this is a white-side blue tongue, but it has the hallmarks of a pied animal, and this represents the first replicated pied reptile here in Australia, and quite frankly, everybody's going nuts about them.
So that is the female.
Yes, that's good. You're getting good at this.
I really am. You know how I could tell it was a female?
Why's that?
Because I had a 50-50 chance of being wrong, and it just so happens I was right.
Yeah, wow. Well done.
And this is an eastern. This isn't a northern.
No, this is a New South Wales eastern blue tongue, and it's has an incomplete dominant nature to it. So some of the hets have some visual markers, i.e. they've got pink tongues and sort of a little bit of broken patterning themselves on the back. But this is obviously the visual animal, and as you can see, it's simply stunning.
That is the rarest blue tongue morph probably in the world, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what I've been able to do with these guys is add a little bit of new blood, as is essential in mutant blue tongue breeding, and we've got some outcross babies here.
Look at this. And now how old are these babies?
These are about 3 or 4 days old.
3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, so this is really interesting because these are blue tongues that here in Australia, this is a dream blue tongue for a lot of Australians. Can you imagine these in the United States, Canada, Europe? I mean, we'll probably never see this outside of Australia.
I'm sure that they'll make their way over there one day.
Well, if the laws are changed and we can start exporting morphs, yes, I can understand why, wild types don't export those. But I've always said that if the laws are changed here in Australia where morphs can be legally exported, people who are working with these here in Australia, they're overnight millionaires. I mean, you could ask anything you want for these.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but half of what you would ask somebody else for me, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Good. I just want to make sure. Yeah.
You just grab some and go.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about these enclosures. So these are brand new from the last time I was here, aren't they?
Yeah. Okay. So they go by the name of Smart Herp, and we've got these new style of lights here, heat lights.
Oh, look at this.
You've got that there with these small insert lights. They're a blue tongue specific UV globe that they've worked on, and that's the packaging
so that's
there.
Specific for blue tongue.
Yeah, because it's a medium range. Like monitors, you'd be looking for up near 10.
Yeah.
And dragons up there as well. Whereas blue tongues, it's sort of a lower range. And he's done the right research on it and gone through the right mob, and these are all tried and tested for blue tongues. Because with these guys, you don't want the UV to be overpowering. What you're looking at is a medium range without too much light emission, which fits for what blue tongues essentially are, and that's a solitude lizard that hides all the time. Sure. It'll come out and bask for a while, pick up a little bit of UV and then go back. It's not, say, like a dragon that sits on top of a fence post and seeks out that sort of high range UV,
And who do we have here?
Rainbow Mealworms is not only a proud sponsor of this channel, they are the premier source for all your reptile food needs. They grow all of their quality insects in-house, and I use them exclusively for all my insect-eating reptiles. So place your order today at rainbowmealworms.net or click the link in the description below.
Okay, so this is one of my Blotchy Mutations. So that's a super pinstripe blotchy.
Super pinstripe blotchy. Now I did see these last time.
You
I was
did,
here.
yeah, I've seen this. But the evolution I made here again is on the caging.
Yeah, look at that.
I used to have a load of plyboard cages.
Right.
And what I did here was a bit of an inspiration from bird aviaries actually, and me getting a bit older and my back not being as good. I decided I wanted to lift them off the ground, and a bit like suspended bird aviaries.
Yeah.
You know, and the benefits of that, not only as I gestured before, it's easier for me, you know, to use because they're a little bit off the ground, but it allows really good drainage.
I was just gonna say,
you know, you've got mulch here. This floor here, if you look underneath there, that's wire, so when it rains it just goes straight through, and this mulch you very rarely have to change it, so you've almost got a set and forget situation there.
these are ingenious.
The top isn't designed for full cover, it's just a partial break, because if you think in the middle of the day you're going to get, you know, high elevation sun,
That's right.
that really does bully things that are underneath, you know?
Right.
So that's what that's to cut out, but that early morning, you know, low elevation sun still gets in, and anybody that has been out herping before will know that, you know, that's when your lizards or your snakes are going to be out.
That's
the sun's
right.
going to be looking at you from there, and your lizards and your snakes are going to be sort of sat
Yeah,
perching
yeah.
on a rock or whatever, but then when the sun's overhead,
That's...
they go to ground, and then that's where this comes in. And this also protects a little bit from total rain deluge, you know what I mean? Position your water bowls here so the rain fills those up, but these will just sort of channel the deluge away, so it's not yeah, a bit of thought.
Yeah, these are brand new. How long have you had these?
I think it's just over 2 years.
Okay, so
And yeah, they're, if you like, they're the culmination of 15 years of keeping blue tongues
Right.
outside. You know, all those things when you design a cage and you're like, could have done that differently, or could have done that differently, and that, yeah, there we are. Then
that's
the final
fantastic.
piece is your afternoon sun is over there, so on the really hot days,
Oh, look at that.
you know, you can drop that down, so you've got you know, sun coming in there, you've got the roof, you've got that, and then your animals are sort of down here off the ground, air coming through.
Wow, these are just ingenious. Okay, so who do we have here?
This is a northern blue tongue, and on your last trip you gave it a description of whiteside yourself at the time, although when you look at it, it sort of only has a partial appearance of a whiteside. And you know, that's what I was working on at the time. You know, it's got this pink tongue, got sort of a coloration missing off the snout and feet, and sort of has what you could best describe as a partial pied appearance. So anyway, that's that guy. That's a pure northern blue tongue. Then a couple of years ago, I managed to pop these out for some New South Wales Easterns, which is, you know, a clear-cut whiteside, as we've just described. You know, and upon seeing these, I noticed that you'd got some parallels between these two mutations, albeit this one being subtle and more washed out, and that one being extremely striking. And the first thing I wanted to do as a result of that was pair them to see if there in fact was any sort of link between the two.
Right.
And lo and behold, when I put them together, I got these straight off the bat.
So these are the result of a northern to an eastern.
Yeah, so Patchwork, which is what I called this northern mutation, over this white-sided eastern mutation,
Gotcha.
gives a midpoint white-sided stroke pied looking animal, which I labelled pied-sided.
Pied-sided.
So you've got three different mutations essentially. You've got Patchwork, white-sided, and the allelic combination of the two, which is your pied-sided, and that breaks all the rules of combining mutations when I talk about allelic.
Yeah.
In that, when you normally put mutations together, you have to go through the process of producing a wild type generation, and then pairing those back, and then replicating the mutation over a period of time, etc., etc. With these guys, you literally put the two different mutations together and you get the result straight off the bat, because the mutation essentially sits on the same location on the DNA chain. A lot of it's hobby objective comments at the end of the day. It's like, you know, these have been given the name white-sided, but I reckon that if this mutation had come out first in the States, it would have been given the name pied,
Easily. All right, let's see what's new and exciting with the lava gene.
Okay, so here is your larva, aptly named, I think, because of the molten orange appearance. And these guys are the double homozygous representation of albino and hypermel. So that's your black blue tongue and your albino blue tongue. So yeah, so that's your larva there. This is a girl. She's actually gravid. I don't think there's heaps of babies in there, but I reckon there's half a dozen in there.
Now, do you ever ultrasound to see how many babies are...
I don't. I did play around with them, but blue tongues are particularly difficult to ultrasound because of the scales.
You're right.
You get a lot of air trapped in the scales, and whilst I could get odd images, it basically frustrated me. A couple of baby larvas here.
God, they just glow in the dark.
And as with anything, they vary a bit too. You know, that's what I'd call a lavender larva. So it's got the soft purple sort of that. Unfortunately, that does tend to fade out as they age, but what doesn't fade out is the amazing orange.
Yeah, that lavender is just insane on these babies. Yeah, it would be very cool if they retain that lavender into adulthood.
I find that the same in most reptiles, that lavender is strong as a baby, but seems to dissipate into sort of like a pewter colour as they age.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're going to take this morph and you're going to put them with the white sides.
Well, that's what I've done, and she's pregnant, so...
so...
Yeah.
I'm here too early.
Well, the mating has been done, but I think it's going to be your next visit before you see the actual outcomes of what combination larva white side's going to look like, so give you a reason to come back in a few years.
Absolutely. I need a reason to come back to Australia. All right, so to conclude, we've got something exciting here that I saw last time, and we just got to take another look at these guys. Okay, so one of the lizards that is really popular here with Australian keepers are these guys. These are Cunningham skinks. So that's the wild type right there.
And this guy here
wants to take your finger off.
Yeah, that's something that's synonymous with these guys. These are from the genus Egernia, and they're noticeably more aggressive than a blue tongue, as you can see. You know, they want to bite you, as you can see. Just
chomp,
chomp, chomp,
chomp,
chomp. Yeah, and what we've got here is the only albino Cunninghams in existence, and these are what is more commonly known as a caramel albino. So not your classic T negative bright red-eyed albino, more of a sort of a T plus caramel.
Right.
So sort of the lower end of the albino spectrum, if you want to classify it like that. So this is the first one that I replicated from the original founder animal.
Now, how many Cunningham skinks do you have in here?
In the collection, there's probably about 40 odd.
40?
All of them are linked into this project. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
And now
so that shows you the true size of an animal.
Yeah, I was just gonna say these guys are big lizards.
Yeah. Comparable really to blue tongue size. Not as weighty as a blue tongue, but certainly have the same length.
Right.
You know. So what you have there is the original founder caramel albino Cunningham skink, and then that's the first replicated version of the mutation via a wild type outbreeding. So there you have it.
Now these are found down in New South Wales.
They have a large range across the most of Australia, really.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yeah. But
where we found them was like way out in the New South Wales outback, basically.
Yeah. They're pretty common. But this specific locale is northern New South Wales.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, those are incredible.
Pretty stoked to crack that, you know. It's sort of 5-6 years since I picked up this original animal, and it's taken me a while to get the successful breedings to firstly make a generation of unrelated heterozygous animals, and then to finally replicate and prove that this mutation was indeed replicatable. And there we have it.
So that is some dedication. So guys, there's a reason why every time I'm down here in Australia, I come to Joe Ball's place, because there is nobody else in Australia that is working with blue tongues like Joe Ball. Every time I'm here, there's something new and awesome to see. So guys, as always, thanks for watching, and until the next reptile adventure, love the planet, feed your reptile obsession, and rattle on.